All right, a lending club review for March 2022. Hi, I'm John McNeil, and this is the Invest Strong Network. Welcome. So, every couple of months or so, I like to do a review, uh, performance review of my lending club notes that I acquired since the late summer and early fall of 2018, and to see how they have performed in the previous period of time. Now, as InvestStrong viewers know, Lending Club as a peer-to-peer lending platform basically ceased and desisted from selling any new notes back at the end of 2020. So basically, I am riding the wave, so to speak, of the notes that were acquired from the late summer, early spring, late summer, early fall of 2018 until December 31st, 2020. Now, many of those notes were acquired in the front end of that time frame, right? And virtually all of them were 3-year notes. So they began to mature in earnest late last year, and that maturation process has continued and really picked up speed dramatically in the last few months. And you'll notice that when I begin to go over the numbers. So let's do that right now. All right. So in my last review back in very early January, uh, I brought out the fact that I had acquired in that period of time the amount of 342 lending club notes. Now, this number will remain static until the very end of the project. So, but I'm repeating it for any new viewers. That's how many notes that I had acquired during the late summer, early fall of 2018 until the very last day that the notes were available in 2020. Now, all of these notes were either A level notes, B level notes, or C level notes with a very small dabbling of 2D level notes, right? And so I tried to stay on the upper end of the credit quality spectrum for these notes. Now, back in January, some 76 of the 342 notes were issued and still current. Now, that amount for this period is down to 55 notes, right? So we've had a pickup in the number of complete redemptions in the last 2 months. I have 0 notes in the grace period as of today, and I also had 0 notes back in early January. Now, the grace period is the first 2 weeks after a note payment is due. Technically, it is not considered delinquent. However, it is the first step in the delinquency process. So really, you don't want to see any notes in the grace period. And thank goodness, neither then nor now do I have any of the remaining 55 notes in that period. Yay! All right. Now, uh, some 259 of the 342 notes have completely paid off with interest. Yes, I love it. That's great. That means basically brother man is getting all of his money back with the allotted amount of interest, and you can't hope for very much more than that, right? And that 259 number compared to 239 that had completely paid back in early January. So definitely moving in the right direction there. Okay. Now, in the 16 to 30 day delinquency period, back in early January, I had 0 notes in that period. This time, there's 1 note that slipped into the 16 to 30 day delinquency period. What are you going to do? It's a B level note. So, not the end of the world. In fact, it's actually quite nice considering all things considered. And so just have to deal with it, right? All right. Now, in the 31 to 120 day delinquency period, now this is the real serious delinquency, right? And this is usually when a note falls into that category, this bad boy is headed towards default and charge off. And in fact, I believe that's exactly what's happening to the single note that I still have in this period. Now, it's been in this 6 month delinquency range for the last 4 months. So I'm pretty convinced that this baby's headed towards charge off at the end of the day. And really, I think that may be happening at any time now, right? So, and that's a single B level note, right? So basically, I have two notes that are in the delinquency category, one 16 to 30, the other 31 to 120, right? And this is out of 342. So we'll take that. All right. Now, as it relates to complete charge-offs, defaults and charge-offs, I'm still holding at 25, which is the same number I had 2 months ago, right? And of those 25 notes, 3 of them are A-level notes, 8 are B-level notes, 13 are C-level notes, and then I have a single D-level note that fell into delinquency. Now, I only made 2 D-level note purchases, and wouldn't you know it, one of them fell into default, right? So that's like a 50% default rate on the D-level notes. All right. And then I also have one note still that's in the canceled category. Now, for InvestStrong viewers, they've been hearing this really for the last, I believe, year or so. And, it's canceled. I thought that, well, if it's in a canceled category, that means that the loan itself was canceled and that the investors would be refunded. Who knows? That may still happen, but it has not happened as of yet. And so the $25 that I put into this note is gone, at least as of right now. And so basically could almost put it in the same category as the charge-off category, right? And that was an A-level note. Wow, right? So go figure, right? All right, bottom line, end of the day, taking everything into consideration, the year-over-year total return on my lending club note purchases since 2018 has been a staggering and, yes, extraordinarily satisfying 11.73%, actually up from 11.64% back in early January, right? So you just can't hope for it. You couldn't hope for anything better than that, really. And I have been extraordinarily blessed by the performance of the Lending Club notes. Wish I could still do it. Lending Club no longer, as I mentioned, no longer does the peer-to-peer notes. Prosper, which is their primary competitor in the space, they actually still do offer peer-to-peer note purchases, but not in Texas. And so that makes it virtually impossible for me to engage in peer-to-peer lending online like I was able to with Lending Club, and that is a bummer. Now, with that said, there are some peer-to-peer lending platforms that I could participate in, but they're either out of India or Europe, and so the credit quality of some of the notes are highly questionable, as is the currency translations. It adds a certain dimension that just makes it unappealing, for me. All right, so that's my Lending Club review for this period. If you appreciate it, please hit the thumbs up button. I'd appreciate it. Also, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I really appreciate it. I'll respond to everyone. I promise you. And of course, subscribe! Subscribe to Invest Strong. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much, friends, and good blessings.